Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in Entebbe?
Mbuuza meya akyegana, tawuni kiraka akyegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga eno ejja kuggwa.
That is politics.
Era tetulina kyakulya n'ekya tekigenda kubaawo.
Ate ne President Museveni bannanga akyali baby.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves.
Well, thank you very much. We are coming to you from Entebbe International Airport here at the VVIP press lounge, you can say. Well, of course, there's been a press conference majorly to clarify on what has been going on social media with the videos that were making rounds with the alleged extortion and corruption here at Entebbe International Airport onto the travelers here. But of course, there has been a press conference, like I earlier said, and many stakeholders, Civil Aviation Authority, Migration, and many other, even service providers, to really clarify on what has been going on. We know very well that a lot has been, of course, running rounds on social media. But I just want to speak to a few journalists that have just been into the press conference to just draw for us a perspective of what they think that the top chiefs of some of these organizations have been clarifying on this matter. And let me just start with you. You tell us your name, what exactly have you noticed from the submissions that have been made by some of the officers in this press conference?
I think as people interested with a public good, I think they were really touched by the messages that have been churned out on social media, and I think what they are giving us is from the bottom of their hearts. Yes.
Yeah, they have made resolutions among them that they will ban the staff at the airport from working with the phones. Do you think, and have name tags, do you think that will partly address the problem?
I think because quite often when a person is in an area and is talking to somebody whose identity he can't establish, anything can happen. But when a person can be fully identified, that one to a large extent is ruled out.
Okay. Let me also speak to Javila. Javila, you have been observant when the officers were making submissions. What really did you pick from it, and do you think this is going to address the problem for good, or we may have a recurrence of?
No, it is not going to be for good, definitely, because they have said some of the things before. They banned phones, I think, a year ago, and they didn't implement this. So now they are saying they are going to implement it because probably there is this fracas that we are seeing. So I just don't think it is from their heart. Just they are trying to address the media and
yeah, well, of course, from the videos that have been making rounds on social media, you could literally tell that there are some government organization. I can be specific. If people are talking about where you have to present a visa is when you are denied a go-ahead to the next service provider. Don't you think they've been mean to themselves not to tell us which areas exactly where this was exhibited?
One, this is a chain, definitely. It's not one person collecting money for themselves. It should be a chain, and for me, I think they needed to tell us who people are behind this very there should people behind it, and for me that was my concern, because we needed to hear who is this guy, and we should follow up this matter and get to know what is the investigation saying, where is it pointing to, and who are the people. So we need to know the cartel. So because this is definitely a chain that must be cut. Yeah.
And they've told us one person is already in the security custody. Do you think he's alone, or there are many others that they should come out and tell the public? Perhaps, like you said, there is a chain.
Yeah. We think because we are giving them probably time to investigate, but we need to know. They need to get back to us and let us know the people behind this very issue. Because for me, I don't believe it is just one person. Yeah. Yep.
I'll speak to our team, of course, who is also into the Kenneth team, who is into the communications department, to just give us a general comment. But from what they've submitted, but I also continue to interact with some of the journalists here who have been attending this press conference to just give us a perspective of what they think, perhaps what should be behind the curtain. And I speak to a gentleman. I know you're very busy, but for just a minute, you just tell us what exactly you think this should be handled, or how it should be handled from the look of things that you've been witnessing.
I think they've mentioned many things and how they can go to implement and of course address the issue. But I think this issue of abolishing the phones from their staff, I think if they implement it well, it can do better.
Of course, I am still in the press lounge here at Entebbe International Airport and still keeping tabs on what has been trending on social media, given the fact that information, according to the officers, some of it has been distorted for the bad image of the airport. But I also continue to seek clarity. Maybe just for a minute, I will speak to the Deputy Director General of this Uganda Civil Aviation Authority to just paint for us a picture of really just a summary. And thank you very much for speaking to me this time. We really just want you to summarize for us. You've mentioned among other things, one suspect who has been arrested and now into your custody, and you're going to ban phones from the staff that will be working here. Do you anticipate this will solve the problem for good?
What I can say is that when there's an issue or situation, you come up with strategies of ways that you think you can actually manage the situation. And we've put up about 8 or 10 ways in which we can manage it. We strongly believe that it may not wipe out it may not change the situation overnight, but with time, gradually it will change. The staff who has been arrested, as I said, it's not the first time. We have a good number of staff that have been arrested, terminated or suspended because of this same situation. So we strongly believe some of the things we've taken, as you had, name tags, those are critical, because many people have raised issues that at the time when they were being asked for money, they didn't know who they are dealing with. So name tags will be one of the best ways of moving. Mobile phones, because some of this vice is conducted on a mobile phone. The gentleman you saw who has been arrested was asking for the money, but not at the airport, meaning there was a communication gap, a communication line. So when we stop the mobile phones right from immigration, then that way you stifle the discussions of going on.
The ball has always been hit back at the civil aviation, but we know you work with very many stakeholders, among them immigration, you have URA and the rest. How are you also going to make sure that the information, the concerns that are raised by the public are collectively addressed into this? Because even up to now, we have not been told which areas exactly were involved in this.
Okay, so maybe what I can confirm is that we have a huge stakeholder group at this Entebbe International Airport, and we've been engaging them. We've had trainings together. Even when this situation came in, we've had meetings already. The agencies are many. We have the Civil Aviation Authority, we have immigration, we have URA, we have the security agencies, we have the police, we have the ground handlers. So when a situation happens at the airport, each of us as a stakeholder has a role to play. So what we've agreed with all the other stakeholders is to fast track some of the actions that we had agreed on before. And when we agree to implement, all the other stakeholders will implement as agreed. Of course, in some of those, we'll continue reviewing, because when we say name tags, maybe there will be some that name tags do not work. But if they are engaging face-to-face with the client or customer or passenger, they should be able to implement. So we've received 100% commitment from all the other agencies. We had immigration today, General Goa. In one meeting, we met the entire staff of immigration. Yesterday, we met the security agencies. Tomorrow, we'll meet another. So by the time we're done, we'll agree in one direction. Because I think we've also had a bit of contradiction in who asks for what information. So we are going to look at what we call business re-engineering, look at the processes that somebody goes through on arrival at the airport, whether we need all of them and go with what we think is the correct one.
In your submission, you say some of these videos have been distorted. The information, some people have manipulated and used them for their own gains. Would you now encourage the public to use such means or ways of raising concerns so that you also get to know, like you said, or you think there should be another partner where this should be handled?
What I can mention there is that I think when the public was using this method, those who used them and were genuine were agitated, and they had issues, and the issues had not been raised. But we want to reconfirm to the public now that we appreciate the method you used, because perhaps that was the only way in which you'd reach us. But we want to appeal to you that we have all other methods. Call us, engage us, and only go in that direction when you feel no action has been taken. At the moment, we are looking at only Entebbe International Airport, but what is the image of our country? We are Ugandans. We should be proud of our country, but what is the image that we portray? Maybe one which we picked is among all those videos, because we've been evaluating them, reviewing them. There's one where we have a young man dressed like immigration, but actually the uniform is not in Uganda. The area where he is not in Uganda. Immigration has checked, they don't have a staff in that capacity. So you find that we've had a few of those that have come in. The genuine ones, we'll take action on them, but we'll also appeal to you that let's use also other methods that we think can reach us. And we've shared, as of today, we've run a press release. We've put the telephone contacts of high-level managers that are willing to pick those. We have the hotlines, which we are going to share. And we think through all those channels, we should be able to address these issues. But we apologize to those that have gone through this situation. Even us who don't want to go through that situation, we acknowledge it, we apologize it, but we want to confirm that we have a total commitment.
You're saying Ugandan travelers expect a lot. You've said only one person in custody. They expect maybe from the investigations you may have many other, a chain of them perhaps, that could have been involved in this. Is this part of what you can say, yes, that you're going to do as here?
Yes. Yes, we will, because when you arrest one person, that's not enough. The reason why he's in police is because then a proper investigation must be conducted. What I shared before is that so far, if you look in the records, we've had about 26 staff, not only from CAA, but 26 staff, some of them from immigration, some of police, who have been held responsible. Some of them have been taken to police, some of them have been dismissed, others have been suspended. So this is a process that we have been going on, but now we need to fast track it and do it even more. So this particular staff who is in police, we think if the investigations are done and conducted very well by our security agencies, we should be able to uncover that racket and be able to reach to some of the staff who have been involved from all the other agencies.
Well, for time reasons, we'll leave it here, Deputy Director General, but thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, of course, we've got the clarification from many other stakeholders. But of course, right about now, we want to just go for a quick commercial break, and when we return, we will be listening to what the Director for Citizenship and Migration had to say on this matter.
Entebbe, the land of freshness, fresh breeze, fresh water, fresh weather, and fresh foods. Entebbe is not just the gateway to Uganda, but also fresh foods supplied from 81 Sese Islands in Lake Victoria. Fresh foods from the garden to Chitoro Market and straight to your home. Visit Chitoro Market in Entebbe, Uganda's first capital for all your fresh foods.
Welcome to Entebbe. Uganda's first colonial capital, the home of recreation and tourism. Meet its welcoming people and enjoy the fresh winds from Lake Victoria. Okay, we'll be back from that commercial break. But of course, before we went for it, I earlier promised that when we return, we'll get to listen to a recording that was done by the Director for Citizenship and Migration on what we had to also say about this matter.
As you're all aware, we are trying to respond to many of the clips that have been circulating on social media. Some of them are very good, very informative, and have allowed us to take corrective action on some of our errant staff. But others are also very sensational, as Madame has said. Others are very sensational, and to an extent, some of them defamatory. So I would really like to urge the public also to be more objective in some of the issues that they raise. Let them be objective so that we can take the corrective measures that, that are warranted within our organizations. People should understand that government will always remain responsive to people's plight. We understand the circumstances that we're in, and government will always be there to see what people need so that we can respond to them properly. She's raised a number of issues as in corrective measures that we have taken in light of what has come out from these social media clips. One of them is the issue of mobile phones, and we have agreed with the leadership here that it is not workable that an officer can go in a booth, an immigration booth, with a telephone and be able to attend to clients while at the same time conversing on their telephones. This is untenable. This is, to put it mildly, this is actually rude now to the clients. So we have agreed that it will be only at the level of supervisors who may be using their phones, but once somebody is at their workplace, mobile phones will not be entertained. The other issue raised is the issue of name tags, so that one is able to be identified properly. If you look at all our immigration officers, the majority of them will have their name tags on their uniforms. And we have agreed, because some of them have this tendency of, oh, I've changed my shirt and I forgot my name tag on a different shirt. So all the shirts are now going to have embroidered name tags, which now nobody will have an excuse to say that I forgot my name tag on a different uniform. So they will be embroidered, and so that the officer can be easily identifiable. Now, on the issue of communications, we have also agreed that we shall look for better communication methods, like getting walkie-talkies, which can be put in the various booths, so that in the event that there's a requirement for an officer to be at any one particular place, communication can be carried out easier as opposed to using mobile phones, apart from the supervisors. And we have also agreed, I'm going to add on top of the supervision that we have at the airport, additional supervisory role at a more senior level to help us to weed out this particular problem, so that we can have concise and effective action being taken on the ground. We realize, and we're not saying that we are angels. Yes, immigration, like all the other departments that we work here, we are sometimes at fault. Many times we find ourselves also at fault, although you will also agree that there have been improvement, a lot of improvement in our areas of operation. But we are not angels. Some mishaps have happened, and we have taken corrective action. I've seen some of the clips that have come out have shown actually old cases which have been handled. Like I remember there's a particular clip which is showing 3 officers that had been arrested. Those 3 officers were since removed from here. Action was taken against them. And I remember taking that particular person who was involved in that case. We had to buy a ticket for her and the family so that they could be assisted to travel to wherever they needed to travel. So action has been taken on the errant officers that have been found wanting. And we shall continue to take that. As of this morning, we actually had a very good session with all the immigration officers, in that we have to up our game. Because at the end of the day, this is government speaking. And government must be seen to be responsive to people's requirements. So we really need to work with integrity, work with honesty, and at the end of the day, we need to look at ourselves as individuals and correct the way we attend to our clients. Because it's attitude which is a big issue here. The attitude that we have within ourselves and the attitude that we exhibit to the people that we serve. So all in all, I think the issues have been very well raised by Madam here, and the issues will be certainly attended to as we have agreed in the various fora that we are holding. And there are others that we shall take up also, which we shall escalate with our various permanent secretaries and at a higher level. Because, for instance, we have this issue of the migrant workers. And the migrant workers, I know they have a special desk here, which is also involved in clearing them. And we're saying now, if they're also going to be involved in removing passports from people, then what is the role of immigration at the end of the day at the airport? So this has got to be streamlined, and we have agreed that at an escalated level, we are going to address that issue so that people are not unduly inconvenienced in their requirement to travel. So all in all, I also wish to urge the public to continue with this vigilance, because it's only out of this that we can hope to be able to improve and serve the people better. So thank you very much for coming.
Well, that is the director, of course, giving us the remarks. But just like we said, we are here at Entebbe International Airport, and here I'm standing at the VVIP section. And just by what you see in my background are some of the travelers that are getting in for a service to board and leave the country. But from the clarification, of course, we've got is that the stakeholders are also concerned of what is happening, really not happy about it. And the comments that have been given out there really show some promise. Even if they have told us someone is already in custody, the public will expect more other people that perhaps could have been linked to the same chain and behind what this whole illegal and bad image of the airport entails in this whole fracas. Of course, we thank you so much for keeping tabs with us, and thank you for really watching us and listening to us on our various platforms. If you think there is something we've left out, just click on the comment side, comment, and we'll be able to engage those that are concerned if they can really respond. For time reasons, I want to leave it here and get back or wish you a good weekend from here. Bye-bye.
Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in it?
Mbuuza meya akyegana, tawunikiraka akyegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga eno ejja kuggwa.
That is politics. Era tetulina kyakulya n'ekya tekigenda kubaawo.
President Museveni, bannanga akyali baby.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves.